Hey guys, I'm back out here again. I'm gonna do another wild edible video thing. This one everybody knows, it's the cattail, and these have a lot of great uses. There's you can use the leaves to weave baskets if you want. You can make some cordage out of the leaves. It's not the strongest cordage, but it'll work in a bind for certain things. The edible parts of this thing is the root. And the root is edible almost all year round. In the wintertime, you got to dig for it a little bit. In the summertime, you dig for it a little bit. In the fall, it's just the roots that are edible also. But come summertime, these cattails will start to shoot a stalk up out of them. And at the top of that stalk will be a two-part setup where one part is pollen. It's actually a female part and a male part, and one part of it, they say you can eat it like sweet corn. You can just butter it up, put a little bit of, and eat it. Boil it, put a little butter on it, and eat it. I've never done that part. It just seems like a pain in the ass to me because there really isn't much there. But the good thing about that stalk at the top, though, is the pollen and the flowers. When it starts to flower and the pollen starts to come out, you can come out here with a plastic bag and put the whole headstock, bend the stalk over and put the whole head into a plastic bag, and then just tap it a little bit so the pollen comes out of the flower. And you just walk around and do it to all of them a little bit. You're doing two things. You're spreading the pollen through the air, which is good, beneficial, and you're collecting a bunch of it too in the plastic bag. And that pollen can be used to mix in with regular flour to make bread, biscuits, all that kind of stuff. And if you really want to get a bunch, say you're limited to how much you can get in an amount of time, you could just strip the flowers right off the stalk and use the flowers the same way. I think the pollen could probably be dried if you kept it like in a cotton sack, put it in the sun or something. But with the flowers in it, I think I would keep it in the freezer. So I would think that the flowers probably wouldn't dry that well unless you laid them out. And if you lay it out, it's just going to blow away in the wind because it is pollen. But yeah, either way, they can be mixed with flour and it's just a way to extend your flower supply if you're in a bind or whatever. The roots of this plant can be dug up, and you can throw them over the fire and then open them up, and basically they're real stringy, so you're basically just taking the juice out of them, and it's real starchy. It's a good supply of starch for if you're looking for something like that. Another thing you could do with the roots is you could wash them and then take them and put them in a pot of water and just kind of break them up in that pot of water and mix them up real good, and then set that pot of water aside, and in a few hours the water will separate the starches. You can take the roots that are left over out, and once the starch settles to the bottom of the pot, you'll see a line in the pot where the starch settles at the bottom and the water is on top. And then you can take the water and you can just slowly pour it off the top of the pot, and what you'll end up with is just basically a pot of starch. And you can take that and put it out on a cookie tray or whatever and dry it out, and what you'll end up with is a starchy substance that you can mix in with other things too. I mean, in a bind you could eat it and you'd be fine, or you would be fine, but it's kind of tasteless, so it probably wouldn't taste that great. But it's a food supply. But the thing that I came out here today to tell you about, because it's late spring, and it's the stalk itself. It's if you take these, and I'll grab one real quick, and give it a pull like that, you get this nice stalk, and it pulls out from here. And you peel away the dark green stuff until you get to this nice white pithy stuff, and it's perfectly edible. Now, I'm not going to eat this here right now, although you can chomp on it in some places, but I'm not so sure that this water source here is the most perfect water source in the world. But what you can do is you can collect a bunch of these, take them home, put them in the, you know, I would cut it off like right about here, and put them in the skillet and fry them up with a little bit of butter, saute them with butter, and they taste just fine. In fact, this is probably my favorite part about the cattail, you know, and and if you come to a cattail patch almost all summer long, you'll end up with these little shoots almost all summer long. I mean, a lot of times you'll have completely formed cattails and there's still a few shoots around that you can gather. Not always, that's not always the case, but sometimes it is. I've also heard of people making arrows out of cattails. I've seen it online on YouTube and stuff. I tried once. They don't work that great. I wouldn't even suggest doing it. The arrows are always too flimsy, too light, and they never really hold up. But another thing that these things are really good for, and is the old ones from last year. This is an old head from last year, and this is probably one of their best uses. It's a flash tender for fire starting. You just take this stuff out and start breaking it up, and what you have here is a flash fire tender, and they work awesome for that. I don't need any right now. I always collect a bunch of it and keep it in my fire tender pouch because it's one of the best things for a flash fire type of thing. But you know, they're one of those tenders that you probably want to mix with other things that are going to burn longer, because it burns so fast that it's like I said, it's a flash fire tender, something you got to play with. But okay, I just wanted to do this quick little video on the cattail and some of its uses. I'm sure there's more out there that I don't even know, but anyways, that's my take on the wild edible cattail. Thank you for your support. If you want to subscribe, that'd be great. Share it, like it, but I just want to thank you guys.